lakh students or a substantial number of them are involved in the fraud. For all we know, a large number of students may be just honest students who have appeared for the exam.
Large number are honest.
Therefore, we have to see. We have to see if Second, what was the modality? One more very important aspect. What was the modality?
Get the best flight offers on
leak was detected. If the leak took place. If the modality of the leak is through electronic means, social media, then there is a possibility that the leak is extremely wide.
Well, that is the point. What your lordship said is all correct.
Just one second.
The electronic media.
We are flagging these issues. We want you to therefore give us a comprehensive analysis of dates. Because if the leak is taking place through, say, Telegram, if it is taken through WhatsApp,
that happens.
Because if it's through social media or any electronic means of communication, then it spreads like wildfire. On the other hand, we must also balance it out about the time at which the leak takes place. If it's more or less in the morning of the 5th, then the time between when the leak takes place and the students have to go for the examination is very limited.
If this is a hard decision,
one more thing in which we require some assistance from both sides. Please don't treat it as an adversarial litigation. For the reason that whatever view we ultimately take, this view is impacting the lives of 23 lakh students. Second, you want to understand, is it possible for the court to identify red flags? Right? So, can we identify, either we do it or we appoint an expert committee to identify the red flags? I'll give you some examples of red flags. 720 out of 720. Alright, everybody out of who gets 720 is not a fraudster. There may be still people who are extraordinarily bright in that 720 out of 720. But we found that for the previous years, the proportion was very low. Now, this year suddenly it goes up to 67. How many out of those 720 are people from that 1563 who are beneficiaries of the added grace mark?
We have given the details in our counter affidavit. 81 places.
No, we just want you to now put it down on a piece of paper for us. Second, we want to understand this. So, a change in centers is possible, right? A change in centers is possible. Suppose a student, I was just telling my brothers at lunch, suppose a student is registered at Lucknow. Suddenly you find that student has gone from Lucknow to a distant center in UP and gets the 720. Yes. Suppose somebody is registered at Ahmedabad and suddenly goes to a fairly distant. So that may be one example.
Consider, yes.
So we can, we will have to do some, if we have to separate the grain from the chaff, we will have to identify certain red flags. That those who fall in that red flag category, we may have to then hold a limited retest for that category alone. Second, is it possible to do, using the cyber forensic unit of, say, the Ministry of Home Affairs or whatever, is it possible to do a data analytics on the entire result and to identify? Now, there may be one category I was thinking, when we were reflecting on this matter. Students who get exceptionally high marks in the NEET, but whose performance is not reflected in the 12th. But there again, I'll tell you one thing. 1 second. There again, there is a problem. Students don't study as hard for the 12th as they study for the NEET.
So, one figure may assist
another red flag. Another red flag. A student gets exceptionally high marks in one faculty of science, like say physics or chemistry, but gets 5 marks in the others. So, because it may be unlikely that a student who is doing so brilliantly in one would not have studied at all for the other faculty. So, the only point is that, I'm not sure whether we should be doing this or whether these...
But they have not declared the entire result also.
As Brother Krishna says, does the full marks have a pattern? We also
I wanted to answer that.
We also want to understand. We also want to understand the pattern of NEET itself.
Well, what's the pattern quickly?
Only a minute.
45 questions on physics, 45 questions on chemistry, 45 on zoology and botany. Totally 180. 4 maths.
So 45 questions on physics,
45 on chemistry, 45 on math, on botany, and 45 on zoology.
so 45 times of 4, that is 1.
180. 180 into 4, 720.
Right.
If you get a wrong answer, -1. So therefore, if you had given 179 right answers, your score would have been 720 minus 5, that is 750. Here, there have been answers, scores of 718, 719, which is mathematically impossible. Because you lose for
Answer was, my lord, that it is because of the grace marks. My lord,
No, this is prior to retest. Give me 2 minutes, sir. Give me 2 minutes.
Submission something.
One second. You will hear.
Just some figures which are handy, and that might answer. I'm obliged to your lordship's question. It's a very pertinent question. We examine the pattern of 100 top ranking students, those who were in the first 100. Lord, the analysis comes that they were distributed amongst 95 centers in 56 cities in 18 states or union territories. Top 100.
The top 100.
They are, my lord, found that they appeared in 95 centers located in 56 cities, which are spread out in 18 states or union territories.
And my lord,
Just one second. Now,
Page 86 of my reply, my lord, page 37 is the
now
evidence. And
one more thing which we want to know now is that how many FIRs matter has been handed over to CBI for investigation.
I'll just tell you.
Totally, how many FIRs have been registered?
One FIR was paper leak in Patna. Rest, my lord, are FIRs for some local malpractice, my lord.
How many totally FIRs have been registered?
My lord, according to them, 6, my lord. Our knowledge is not 6, my lord.
Can you give us tomorrow, maybe or
Day after, my lord, a day more, my lord. But we'll be able to.
I have a rough sheet.
Just one
Can I
second.
hand it over?
All right.
I may tell you.
Second, we want to know now. One thing is very clear, that the leak has taken place.
Yes, in one center.
Whether one center that's what we have to decide.
We will have to.
The fact that the sanctity of the examination is now compromised is beyond doubt.
Correct.
That there has been a leak.
Yes.
I'm sorry, madam.
Now, question is, Mr. Solicitor, how widespread is that breach?
Patna also, the paper leak is not an admitted fact. But my learned friend relied upon that press not kind of a thing.
No, it is an admitted fact. This is stated in the affidavit.
Mr. Adumara, 1 second.
Yes.
But can we deny the fact that a leak of question papers took place?
Yes, my lord. Yes, my lord. The
Complete cover-up, it is admitted in the
Bihar
FIR.
police, on that very day on which, my lord, some news reporting came, which my learned friend, my lord, Mr. Huda read. Lord, we issued this press that this is false. This is not our briefing to the media.
No, but is the case of NTA today that there is no leak?
It's not.
Leak is admitted.
The fact
It is
that-
admitted in their counter affidavit.
Mr. Solicitor, Mr. Kaushik, we take it that it's an admitted fact that there is a leak. There is no question about it. But, the nature of the leak is what we are determining.
Yes.
Therefore, we are asking questions. The fact that there was a leakage of question papers cannot be disputed. Now, what is the consequence of that leak would depend upon the extensive nature of that leak. If it
Was
is
it a
not
contained leak or uncontained?
I'll tell you one thing. You don't cancel a whole examination merely because 2 students have committed a malpractice. Likewise, assuming that there is a leak, we don't live in an ideal world. There should be no leak. But before we decide to order a retest, we must be careful about what is the nature of that leak? Because we are conscious of the fact that we are dealing with the careers of 23 lakhs.
She is absolutely right. Absolutely right.
808 of
And
them.
asking 23 lakh students to reappear for an examination, together with the preparation, cost, travel, and dislocation of admission schedules,
Unfortunately, there is no other choice.
I'll also take.
Unfortunately, there is no other choice. Paper has been leaked.
Mr. Nannumpara.
Now, therefore, we want to know this. Therefore, we would like to know first the entire process which took place.
Sir.
To what is the nature of the FIRs which have come forth? How was the leak? What is the point of time at which the leak took place? How was the leak disseminated? These are important questions. And next, very important, what are the actions which the Government of India and NTA have taken to identify the wrongdoing students or the beneficiaries of the wrongdoing?
Correct.
None.
So now I give an example. I'll just give an example.
I appear for someone who has come first.
I'd like to make submission. I'm in 31.9, my lord.
अभी इनका म्यूट है तो मैं आपको बता देता हूँ कि जहाँ तक वर्डिक की बात चल रही है, जहाँ तक ये सब चीज़ बात चल रही है, मुझे लगता है कि ये वाला जो पक्ष है इनको और थोड़ा मजबूत तरीके से आना चाहिए. इवन दे आर नॉट अवेयर अबाउट कि हाउ मच टोटल स्टूडेंट आर पार्टिसिपेटिंग एंड कैसे पेपर जाता है, कितने केसेस हुए हैं, कौन से CBI कौन से मामले को खंगाल रही है. इवन दे आर नॉट अवेयर. तो मतलब ठीक है, अवेयर हैं बट थोड़ा और ज़्यादा होना चाहिए. और जहाँ तक इनके डिस्कशन से मुझे एक और चीज़ बात चल रही है कि कहीं ना कहीं जो है इनका जो पक्ष है वो एक पर्टिकुलर सेट ऑफ कैंडिडेट की तरफ जा रहा है और ये पूरे मास लेवल पे ब्रीच नहीं हुआ है. जस्ट पर्टिकुलरली द 1 or 2 स्टेट, और वहाँ पे भी कुछ सेंटर और कुछ बच्चे. हाँ, सुनते हैं.
That would ultimately lead. But I'll just give an example.
One second, Mr. Solicitor, we also want to know what are the steps which have been taken by the NTA and by the government to identify the beneficiaries of the leaks, because that we have to be ruthless on identifying the beneficiaries.
We also have to be ruthless,
right? Because anybody who has breached the examination is not entitled to be there as a successful student.
Those who are identified, their results are. But give me an example.
How many? We want to know. How many have been identified?
Yes.
But more than how many have been identified, we want to know what was the course of action which was taken by the government.
Lord, kindly allow me to give an example. Lord, for the time being, leave Bihar. I will not call the police also. I will not take instructions. Take for example Godhra. Godhra incident, Lord, it passes on as a paper leak case. It's not a paper leak case. What happened was, there was one superintendent of one particular center called Jai Jalaram School. His name is Tushar Bhatt. Lord, he arranged with certain students that he didn't have the papers. But he said that whatever answers you can confidently answer, you give the answers. These are multiple choice questions with negative marking. And therefore, I would have a window of 3 hours before, after I take your papers back and I seal it and send it to the concerned authority. Fortunately, the authorities, the district magistrate came to know about this. It must have percolated from somewhere. Therefore, the moment examination started, the entire district administration and entire police administration was there. The papers after the examination were taken in their custody, sealed in their presence and sent, and that man was arrested. Now, from his mobile, there were several video chats which were found. And we could identify that these were the people with whom he was in touch. So those identified students, their papers are their results are with him. And they are issued show cause notices. Why should they not be?
So we want to know totally.
We are not concerned about Godhra, but what we are concerned about Patna. Patna is the leakage. Godhra, we are not complaining. I am only about paper leakage, Patna. Nothing else. All others are minor issues. All are minor issues. Nobody would ask for a. Nobody would ask for a cancel of the examination. Nobody concerned about the paper leak.
Overall in the entire country,
Right.
how many students whose results have been withheld owing to what we are discussing today? Individual, one student cheating from another student, we are not bothered about that.
Absolutely.
That the law will take its own course.
Yes.
How many students are there whose results have been withheld as a result of the systemic, so we won't say systemic, as a result of the leakage which took place.
Patna leakage.
So, and where are those students situated? You want to see the geographical distribution of those students. Are they in one state? Are they in multiple states? Where are they situated? And third, now one more thing which we'd like to also dwell on is the following justice, the order passed by the bench presided over by Honorable Justice Vikramnath in the vacation. 1563 students, there was a retest. That was held on the 23rd of June or 21st of June. 23rd of June.
It has been withheld.
Now, one second. Just tell us for this examination now. Are we still in the process of identifying the wrongdoers in terms of the students? We're not talking of those who are perpetrators, but beneficiaries. Have we been able to completely identify the students who are the beneficiaries, or is that process still ongoing?
Answer is
No
For
effort.
instance, one second. For instance, look, if we have no go, we'll have to cancel the exams.
There has been no
but
effort
I'll tell you one
whatsoever
thing.
on that side.
As a court,
Yes.
this cancellation of a test of this nature, 24 lakh students,
Completely agree with
is a matter of extreme last. It is so because it may be, this
Lordship is
may be very-
absolutely right.
It may be, and therefore we are asking questions about what was the time at which the leakage took place. So that will give us an idea of what was the opportunity for dissemination.
Every question
What the modality is, what-
very pertinent.
My petition, my lord, there are 56.
Quick answer, if your lordship.
Just one second. Mr. Solicitor, one second. One second, sir. One second. Just one second.
Everything by day after.
Day after. 1 second. One more thing I want to ask you is that with the kind of technology which we have today at our disposal, and the government of India has its cyber forensic unit, is it not possible for us to run through the use of experts to bring some sense of confidence to the process? That you carry out a detailed data analytics exercise to see if there are suspicious markers. Now, we have to identify what the suspicious markers are. All right. So, I just want to say one thing. Let us not be in self-denial.
Absolutely.
Right?
bow down.
Self-denial is only adding to the problems because now everybody knows there was a leak. So, we have 2 or 3 things. We have to see what happened for this exam, what we do in the ongoing process for the conclusion of this year's admission, and finally, which is the third aspect of the matter which we'll answer, what do we do to ensure that the leak does not take place again in the future, or what are the steps we are taking to ensure that the dissemination in the future does not result in the leaks that we have encountered. On the last aspect, subject to hearing you, there should be a sort of a multidisciplinary committee consisting of the best experts, not necessarily only from the government, but people who have very wide experience and who are respected across the country. Because today we are dealing, I don't have to emphasize it, we are dealing with the most prestigious of educational admissions.
And
every middle class
young minds, which are the treasure
every middle class parents aspires their children to go to medicine or engineering, or Now, what are we doing to ensure that that this will not happen in future, and how are we planning to tighten the examinations process? Is there an audit being conducted by the government on what went wrong in the NTA? That's one aspect. What do we do? There's a third aspect. Second aspect, assuming that we are not going to cancel the entire exam, what do we do between today and the date of admissions to identify those who are beneficiaries of the fraud? And the first aspect, do we cancel the exam or do we allow the counseling to go through by identifying the beneficiaries. And on the first aspect, we'd like to know from the government, what have you done so far to identify those who are beneficiaries of the...
I can assure your lordships one thing. But we are not adversary.
देख रहे हो इसमें मतलब
Report to the
मुझे लग रहा है कि
report to the CBI and Patna police. That is most important. My lord. Report to the CBI and the Patna police.
Mr. Solicitor, you know, they have, from what they are trying to emphasize, we find that they place a great deal of emphasis on the fact that in the 20, 21, 22, 23, you had 1 plus 3 plus 1 plus 2, that is 4 and 1, 5 and 2, 7 students who got 720 out of 720 in 4 years. This year, we have 67 who get 720.
Which my lord 6 are from
1 second.
We have an answer with satisfaction.
No, I have one more question. What is the, one second. What is the percentile distribution in this exam across categories, not just 720 out of 7?
Few centers.
No. The distribution of marks, is it skewed at the top? In the last year, suppose how many were in the bottom third percentile, in the middle third percentile, in the top third percentile? This year, in the sense that will give us an indicator, was the pattern, was it a paper leak? Was the examination pattern comparatively easier as opposed to the previous year?
We have not correct. We have done the analysis. We'll place it on
Lord,
Which chart?
so like to put some other aspect of it.
The chart I have given that answer my lord's query.
To make a small submission.
Last page of the 2-page note. The chart I have given that satisfies my lord's query. The marks, my lord, I have compared, given the table. My lord, somebody in 2022 who obtained 700 marks. My lord, may I kindly see this table for a moment? That will throw light on my lord's query.
222, somebody who obtained 700 marks.
Yes, in 2022, his rank was 94.
Right.
In 23, somebody 700, his rank was 247. Then somebody has 700 in 2024, his rank is 2250.
He goes down.
It goes down because there's so many people above.
100% rise.
My lord, also there is another
I have
aspect.
another question.
Also there is another aspect.
One second. How many students appeared in 2022, 23 and 24?
Same number. See, next table is showing it. Next table is showing it, my lord. May I kindly see
The
this?
56 students that are before
My lord, total number of all of them are here.
stoppers.
My lord, kindly see the difference.
My lord, also,
Hold on.
There are classes.
my lord, also there is another aspect to it.
But the increase in a very linear fashion.
My lord, there is another aspect to it. In fact, NTA has published several answer keys. My lords, I'd like to point out. My lords, I'd like to My lord, I'd also like to point out some.
May I say something? Only one of the 56
May I be able
one of them is a
to
topper.
make a small submission, my lord?
Rest all of them have been meritorious, have scored highest mark in class 10 and 12. In so far as Gujarat is concerned, in these 56 people that have come before my lord. So this is a case where all of us are facing tremendous mental agony because of this.
That's all right.
So-
Now we can leave aside the emotions. You can trust us.
I am saying that out of
What we want to know, Mr. Solicitor, what we want to know is this. We will have these, we'll have these anecdotal, charts like this which are given to us. Please take instructions from the government. can we not run this through a data analytics program to the cyber forensic unit? You can contact, if the government has that in the Ministry of Home Affairs, so much the better. If you don't have it, you can ask any of our top service providers to find out, because we have to identify whether the skewing of marks is so systemic that the whole examination is affected, or is it possible to identify people who are wrongdoers or likely wrongdoers, in which case a retest can be held for those students only.
I have got an answer.
Lord, I'd like to make a small submission.
Not in a holistic way, but I can assure your lordships about one thing. But we are not adversarial to the petitioners either way. The petitioners who have an apprehension of an all India problem, or petitioners 23 lakhs in number plus, who are, my lord, feeling insecure because they may have to face, my lord, another examination. But we are concerned about both the sets, and we will assist your lordships, my lord, dispassionately. My lord, and whatever your lordships have suggested, my lord, I think the solution lies somewhere else. There only.
One second. What we'd like to do, insofar as the petitioners are concerned, all lawyers for the petitioners, please, we'll take it up on Wednesday. We'll give them a day's time. So, eventually. Solicitor also wanted 1 day's time. We'll give you a day's time to put your heads together. We want all the lawyers for the petitioners who are asking for a retest, to sit together between now and Wednesday and give us one set of submission.
Violation.
So we can't have people, 100 lawyers arguing before us on 100 different grounds. We want you to all sit down. We'll appoint one nodal counsel, as we do in the CB matters.
That's it.
You give us one consolidated submission, say not exceeding 10 pages. We don't mind, it shouldn't exceed 10 pages. Why you are pressing for a retest?
Correct.
All right?
All
Likewise,
material
what
we
you
rely on
do,
for that purpose.
likewise, we'll do this. We will ask the government to circulate a comprehensive list of dates and a response to what we have raised.
In the meantime, first this CBI can be directed, because not everything is with CBI. NTA, as we have seen in the reply, they say we do not know whether it was systemic or not. Here, sometimes they completely deny there is no leak. So let the CBI file a status report before this honorable court in all 6 FIRs that will place the picture that in which direction the investigation is going.
Not all 6.
Not instead of a filtration in between. Let
Only
the
Patna
CBI
is
straight away submit a status report.
You are
Let me
appearing,
take instructions from.
you are appearing for the CBI also, Mr.
So let a CBI file a status report.
Why don't you do this? Ask the CBI to file a status report.
On Patna. That's where the leak has occurred. All the rest of our minor issues.
On its investigation, whether it is systemic or whether it is not.
Answer also.
If I have submissions on
More suggestion, if my lord may kindly consider it.
Lord, I'd like to make a small submission, my lord. Here, also the end.
Lord, there is one more suggestion, if my lord may kindly
there is
consider.
a change in the answer also.
But in the meantime,
So the order dictate करे क्या अभी?
बहुत बहुत चीज़ें चल रही हैं इसमें। रीनीट के भी बारे में बात हो रही है, या कुछ पर्टिकुलर स्टूडेंट के बारे में भी हित में बात चल रही है। मुझे लगता है कि आज तो प्रॉपर फैसला नहीं आ पाएगा।
Joint request that we file everything as suggested by our lordships by Wednesday, and matter can be heard on Thursday. So we are not, nobody takes,
investigating officer file an affidavit. my lord.
is taken by surprise that what is the document. We'll prepare it today, file it by day after, and we can have.
Not that filtration which happens in between, my lord, but the investigating officer is the best person.
No, I'm not on CBI, on overall.
On the day. And so Wednesday he's saying take it up on Thursday.
Thursday,
because Wednesday they will, so you will get 24 hours to
Yes, sir.
study what they are saying.
Per placement. And my lord, in the meantime, if my lord may just consider one more aspect.
Only one
Let the entire result of 23 lakh odd people be declared on their website. They have not declared that result. We will also analyze the data because they declared the result of 100 people. We could see that 6 people who secured rank 1 are from the same center.
Presidents are, it is declared.
No, you will be able to see.
Also,
They are not comprehensively published.
Presidents are, it is declared on the website.
Lord, I'd like to make a small submission.
Declared.
You made your point. Let's hear Mr.
Same center, the student got the same marks, 720 and 726, Lordship. One center, Lordship.
From the same center.
720, 720.
May be allowed.
Yes.
How is it possible, Lordship? This is my question is that.
People in one center in Haryana.
Lordship, my second question is, all our sheets are different
What is-
and result is a different, Lordship. How is it possible, Lordship?
This is a
So let's
situation here.
declare the entire result. We will analyze the data, but there are on the resources.
Answer keys for the same OMR scheme.
Also permitted to upload the PUB.
There are multiple answer keys for one single question. It has been published by the NTA on its website.
NTA opened up on the 8th of April for enlisting students, my lords, on a 24-hour window on the 9th and the 10th of April, my lords.
And change of answer also. They have changed the answer also.
Now, this is very
They changed the answer.
Lordship, my second, and then my second question is that why the NTA has declared the result the 4 June, my lord.
Exactly.
That is the question. The already, my lord.
3 answer keys for the same set of question paper. How can NTA publish that? NTA also should be investigated.
Seats are there. How many total seats?
1,10,000. 1,10,000 approximately.
One next,
Of
there are
which
also
50% is government.
1 lakh and plus.
How many seats?
1,08,000 something is the exact figure.
56,000 is the government seat. The entire bungling is on the government seat, so that they can go to private. And your lordship, one more data, not my lordship.
My lord, I'd like to make a small submission, my lord.
My lordship, it's my humble request.
On VC,
The data which is come out, so it will be important that this please come out and complete.
My lord, all five-
OMR sheet status.
my lord, on VC, I may be allowed to make a small submission of 30
The
seconds.
portal which is opened on the 9th of 9 April. Sir, my lordship, the portal is opened on 9th April 2024. It's my humble request, please give the clear data to find out so that we can.
My lords, why the window was open on 8th and 9th? What was the reason?
Yes, sir. Only 2
And
days.
what was the result? Because this is the only difference.
My lord,
ऐसा लिख
We
लीजिए.
have identified 1,560.
The candidate who are appealing.
Just we'll flag something and we'll now place it on Thursday. We'll just give some direction to the matter, so we'll be able to focus on what we want.
My matter, notice may be issued.
Yes, we hear you. We're not going to be.
So that we can file.
On 9 February 2024, the National Testing Agency, into brackets NTA, issued an
थोड़ा blur हो रहा है.
online application
उधर से
form
कुछ चल रहा है.
for the National Eligibility cum Entrance Test, into brackets NEET UG, bracket 2024, full stop. NTA conducted the NEET UG examination on 5 May 2024. Full stop. Results were declared
Final verdict लिखा जा रहा
on
है.
4 June 2024. Next.
देखते हैं कितने किसके हित में आ रहा है.
On 5 May 2024, from the material which is emerged on the record at the present stage,
मुझे लगता है कि थर्सडे को फिर से हियरिंग होगी.
it appears that on 5 May 2024, a first information report bearing FIR number 358/2024 was lodged at PS Shastri Nagar, Patna, alleging a leak in the NEET UG 2024 question papers implicating offences under sections 407, 408 and 409, read with section 120B of the Penal Code. Let's stop. On 23 June 2024, the Economic Offences Unit of Bihar Police issued a press release noting that in connection with the above FR, 13 persons, including candidates and members of, and into invert commas, members of the organized gang of examination leak.
Sorry, I should not interrupt. This is what I gave to your lordships. This is not true. That is what the Bihar police on that very day clarified.
Where is that clarification?
I had just given.
No, no, my friend is wrong.
This is what
No.
Bihar police clarified.
No, you are trying to cover up.
So this is on that very day published, my lord, by the Bihar police. This is with regard to the news report of NEET UG exam published in the Sunday Express newspaper dated 23rd June. On its front page with the headline, Bihar police puts.
So this press release is not an official press release?
No, that's what the Bihar police clarifies.
It's on their website.
Kindly read it further, my lord.
Sir.
Paper leak in the, my running friend FES my lord for Bihar, he handed this over to me just now, my lord. In the news item, the undersigned has been wrongly quoted and the name has been mentioned at least 3 times in the news item by the correspondent so and so. Whereas the matter of fact is that no such brief had been given by the undersigned to him in this regard, and neither the concerned correspondent ever contacted me before attributing the quote to the undersigned. No official press release or statement in this matter had been issued. This irresponsible act of correspondent is against.
According to the petitioners, on 23 June 2024,
final verdict hai.
A press release was issued by the Economic Offences Unit of the Bihar Police, setting out in regard to the paper leak which had taken place. On the other hand, from a communication dated 23 June 2024 addressed by the Additional DGP, Economic Offences Unit, it has been stated that no official press release or statement
That's an act of cover up.
had been issued by the Bihar Police. Full stop. Be that as it may, in this batch of petitions, one of the primary reliefs which has been sought is for a court-mandated retest of the entire process which took place, culminating in the examination which was conducted on 5 May 2024. But stop. In support of the case, in support of their case, the petitioners have relied on two primary circumstances.
Retest होने के chances हैं.
First, it has been submitted that before that, you can just say the NEET UG 2024 examination consisted of multiple choice questions involving a total of 180 questions. Let's stop. Each of the 180 questions carried 4 marks, making for a total of 720 marks for the examination. 45 marks each were allotted to the segments in physics,
Chemistry,
chemistry,
biology, biology,
Geology,
botany and zoology.
geology and
Botany and zoology.
physics, chemistry, botany, and zoology.
Geology.
Full stop. The examination envisaged the award of negative marks, of one negative mark
Per wrong answer.
per wrong answer. Next. In support of the plea that the court should direct a re-examination,
Re-examination confirm है.
the petitioners have primarily relied on two circumstances. First, it has been submitted that that candidates securing the maximum of 720 marks were confined to a few students, between 2020 and 2023. In 2020, full stop. As opposed to this, in the NEET UG 2024, as many as 67 candidates are reported to have secured the maximum of 720 marks. The submission can best be highlighted by reproducing the chart which has been placed during the course of the hearing. A copy कर लीजिए, हाँ? The above chart indicates that while one student in 2020, 3 students in 2021, 1 student in 2022, and 2 students in 2023 secured the maximum marks, there has been a radical increase in the students securing the maximum of 720 marks in 2024. Full stop. Apart from the second submission, proceeds on a comparative tabulation of the ranks which were allotted to students in 2022, 2023, and 2024.
For me, most important, the league has happened. That is the core.
The second, the above submission is sought to be highlighted from the following tabulated chart. वो भी डाल दीजिए इसमें BB. The above chart indicates that students receiving a specific level of marks between 539 and 700 who had secured a particular rank in 2022 secured lower ranks in 2023 and a radically lower rank in 2024. No. Same marks, same level of marks. Not same student. We'll stop. Next. In considering whether, before that you can say, it is certain basic facts which are not in dispute need to be alluded to. We'll stop. About 24 lakh students registered for the NEET UG examination, which was to be conducted in the month of May 2024. Full stop. About 23.33 lakh students, correct?
Yes, sir.
Appeared for the 23,33,297 students. वो क्वेश्चन की बताइए क्या फिगर क्या है? 23,23,290 students 297 students appeared for the examination. Stop. The examination was conducted at 4750 centers comprised within 571 cities. Full stop. The examination was also held in 14 cities overseas. Full stop.
Re-NEET confirm hai.
The total number of seats, medical seats for undergraduate, one second, I've made a note. For undergraduate studies is 1.08 lakhs, of which approximately 56,000 are seats in government hospitals. Full stop. The investigation, prima facie, tentatively at the present stage, the court has been apprised of the fact that don't say tentatively, the court has been apprised of the fact that first information reports were registered in Patna, Delhi, Gujarat, Rajasthan, Jharkhand, and Maharashtra. Correct? Full stop. Whether the FIRs in relation to the paper leak is only confined to Patna,
Yes.
or otherwise, is a matter which would have to be reserved for a more detailed elaboration, detailed consideration. Full stop. The above narration indicates that the examination was conducted over a wide spectrum comprising of nearly 23 lakh students spread over 4,750 centers in India. Full stop. Before the court can be, full stop. The law on whether a retest should be ordered in a situation such as the present is based on fairly settled parameters. Full stop. The court would have to scrutinize on the basis of the data which has emerged on the record whether, bracket 1, a breach in the sanctity of the examination has taken place, whether, bracket 1, the alleged breach has taken place at a systemic level or at a systemic level, semicolon, bracket 2, whether the breach is of a nature which has affected the integrity of the entire examinations process, and 3, whether it is possible to segregate the beneficiaries of the fraud from the untainted students. Full stop. In a situation where the breach in the sanctity of an examination affects the entirety of the process, and it is not possible to segregate those who are the beneficiaries of wrongdoing from others, it may be necessary to order a re-examination. On the other contrary wise, where the breach is confined to specific areas or centers, and it is possible to identify those who are beneficiaries of wrongdoing, may not be appropriate to order a retest, particularly in an examination which has been conducted on such a massive scale, involving over 23 lakh students.
अभी मैं लाइव में हूँ
Involving
मतलब अभी फाइनल वर्डिक्ट चल रहा है
such a large body of students who would have appeared, who have studied for the examination, undertaken costs and expenses, and would have to undergo the rigors of a fresh examination if it were to be ordered by the court. Next. While flagging these issues, while flagging the above issues, we are of the view that a view on the merits would have to be deferred until further facts are placed on the record before this court. Full stop. For that purpose, we intend to direct the National Testing Agency to make a full disclosure before the court. Full stop. The disclosure which we are intending to require can broadly be classified into three aspects.
Re-NEET confirm है.
The first aspect pertains to the nature of the leak, the places where the leak took place, and the lag of time between the occurrence of the leak and the conduct of the examination. From this perspective, NTA is directed to clarify on the basis of the material which is in its possession as of date on the following issues. Bracket 1. When the leak of the question papers has first taken place. 2. The manner in which the question papers were leaked, were disseminated. Semicolon, bracket 3. The duration between the time duration between the occurrence of the leak and the actual conduct of the examination, which took place at 2 p.m., between 2 p.m. and 5:20 p.m. on 5 May 2024. The second, while making the full stop, on the above aspect, we are also of the view that since the investigation has been entrusted to the CBI, a status report should be filed by the investigating officer before this court, indicating the status of indicating
partner. Only that's a call.
The status of the investigation up to date and the material which has come to light during the course of the investigation.
री-नीट की तरफ पूरा का पूरा इशारा हो रहा है. अभी डिसाइड होना है कि सरकार को एनटीए को क्या कहना चाहते हैं और कब ये एग्जाम हो पाएगा.
One may when the leak was first noticed कर लो. The investigating officer shall in particular indicate to this court, shall place before this court material which has been gathered during the course of the investigation, which would have a bearing on when the leak is alleged to have first taken place and the modalities in which the leaked question papers were made available. Full stop. On the second perspective, the second aspect on which we NTA shall make a disclosure to this court is in regard to the steps which have been taken so far for identification of the beneficiaries of the leak. This regard, the court should be apprised inter alia of the following. Bracket 1. How many students, what were the steps which were taken by NTA to identify the centers stroke cities at which the leak took place? 2. The modalities followed for identifying the beneficiaries of the leak. And 3. The number of students who have so far been identified to be the beneficiaries of the leaked question papers. Likewise, the investigating officers
can say NTA stroke authority, because identification may not be within our.
All right. The above information, I'll clarify while editing. I'll put it so that it will be more the Ministry of Home Affairs or some other one.
All right. Not the leak will be at one place. At how many centers the leak paper has been made available? Because the leak will be in the entire system at one place.
No. We have said that dissemination also we have said.
Perfect.
The investigating officer shall also submit a status report bearing on the above aspects.
Yes. Well, Lords, one point.
The third aspect on which it is necessary to have a further disclosure by the union government as well as by NTA. We'll say union government and NTA is whether it is possible by the union government and NTA is whether it would be is on whether
technically feasible.
Yeah, whether it would be feasible, using data analytics, either within the cyber forensic unit or any other expert agencies within or which may be employed by the government to identify cases where suspect cases will stop. For instance, these cases may involve full stop. This may be if this is possible, the authorities shall identify before the court identify the modalities which can be followed so as to segregate the tainted from the untainted students. Next, the third aspect on which we would require a disclosure is in regard to the modalities to be followed between the conclusion of the examination, including the retest which was held for 1563 students, and the actual commencement of the counseling process. Full stop. If an exercise is to be conducted by the NTA and by the union government so as to deduce any further beneficiaries of the question paper leakage, a considered decision at the policy level would have to be taken by the government on whether counseling should be allowed to proceed in the meantime or otherwise.
May not say that.
On the status of the counseling. Fourthly, the court is concerned about the steps which should be taken thereafter to ensure the sanctity of the national eligibility cum entrance test, so that such instances which have transpired during the course of the present session are not repeated in the future. In this regard, just 1 second, please. In this regard, it would be necessary for the government to consider setting up a multidisciplinary team consisting of renowned experts who command the wider confidence of the community to ensure that due measures are being taken to obviate any further breaches in the NEET in the future. Full stop. If a committee has already been set up by the government for deducing the steps to be taken for the future, full details shall be made available to the court. Full stop. The court may then consider whether the committee which has been constituted by the government should be allowed to proceed as it is, or whether the composition of the committee should be
enhanced.
It is already
to be sufficiently enhanced to bring so as to bring together a pool of talent from diverse fields, bearing not only on administration but also on domain expertise and data analytics. So,
I have only one fraction.
Solicitor General and Mr. Kaushik, learned senior counsel appearing, Solicitor General appearing for the Union of India, and Mr. Kaushik, learned senior counsel appearing for the NTA, have requested the court to place the further hearing on Thursday ka date dal dijiye, so as to enable them to make their to file the material in pursuance of the above queries by 5 p.m. on Wednesday. Full stop. The affidavit shall be shared with counsel appearing on behalf of the petitioners. Simultaneously, the report of the investigating officer of the CBI shall also be placed on the record in the meantime.
May I be only be permitted to say one aspect?
So, I'll tell you why. Let there be, the reason why we are asking for this disclosure, whatever view we ultimately take, let there be confidence in the community that
Absolutely, absolutely. We were not very.
Lord, I have only one subject.
Where your lordship's views.
The entire.
Lords, can I make one? May I request that the copy will serve to us as well?
In view of the large number of counsel who are appearing on the side of the petitioners, we have requested that it has been agreed who will be the nodal counsel.
Mr. Suvik Sharma,
independently sometime.
Shall act as nodal counsel. All the counsel for the petitioners who are desirous of pressing their submission for a retest shall file a common set of submissions not exceeding 10 pages before the hearing takes place on Thursday ka date.
My lords, kindly allow the implementation of petition, my lord.
The petitioner on this side, my lord, can it also be?
Time of loss.
On the petitioner on this side, because there's some fact that
by and large, you are being supported by these.
I appreciate, but I also want to get out the fact that happened in our case in Gujarat. Here, all cases where they
why don't you do this? Give us a short one-page note. That will be more.
Very well.
And as wherever your lordships has said petitioners, there are transfer petitions where we are essentially respondents.
Taken for 2 days in April.
And this is beyond the leak, my lord. Beyond the leak also.
Yes, my lord, there is also a
They have changed the answer also. They have changed the answer of one question and allotted the number by that.
Yes, my lord, in fact, it's happened in my case also, wherein there are 3 answers.
Analyze these states. Who are the people who...
Mr. Solicitor, we have not specifically in our order included the red flags. If you can just
have understood,
right. I deliberately didn't put it into our order But you can just see whether there are some cases like that which you can identify, see, so that then,
We have 5
I'd like to place.
It have been served, perhaps they are not given copies, the other ones who are intervening or etc.
but what we would suggest is what you give us on Thursday,
everyone,
you give to us, and one more thing, what you give us on Thursday, make it comprehensive so that we don't have to wait through your counters and everything. We'll just look at that basically.
Hello, may I make one small request? Some of us are respondents.
We've now chalked out our roadmap. If we can, using whatever technology, common sense, and our understanding of the law, identify the wrongdoing students. We then don't have to ask 23 lakh students to again appear for the exam. If we have no other go, of course we are there too.
Kindly allow the implement application.
For us to file that one page, we need our diary number to be
Which
recorded.
is that matter, NEET matter.
My lords,
We are,
All right, yes, yes. There are 3 other matters which we have to take, sorry.
My lord,
our diary number may be noted, so that we file the page. Our diary number may be noted.
All right, any other fresh matters on NEET which were not on board?
Yes, Lord.
After we rise, you can give the matters numbers to the court master, he'll bring them on board.
my lords, kindly allow the implement application.
One more thing, Mr. Solicitor, has everybody served their petitions on the council database?
But we have not
All right.
received our replies, my lords.
All right, one second. The council appearing for all the petitioners, council appearing for all the petitioners, interveners, shall serve copies on whom should we say?
Central, MK Maroria.
On Sri MK Maroria, and Mr. Vardhaman Kaushik, counsel appearing, counsel instructing the Solicitor General and Mr. Kaushik, R.C. Kaushik respectively. The 2 counsel appearing on behalf of the 2 counsel, Mr. Maroria and Mr. The Union of India and the NTA shall prepare a tabulated statement indicating for each petition, tabulated statement grouping the petitions into distinct categories so as to facilitate disposal. So what you can do is those which are asking for a retest, you can put in one category. Then individual grievances, then we'll see whether those grievances can be entertained, whether we ask you to look into it, what to do. But we'll have one tabulated chart on petitions.
Make it easier.
hello, may I just request one indulgence?
That's why we said, therefore you serve a copy on the solicitors.
But they have changed answer also. The condition, they have changed answer of the one question and has given the more marks to the 13,000 students.
Medical accommodation.
Created problem for while ranking is concerned.
But look, this is nothing. Therefore, those petitions we may have to dealing. They are individual petitions. Those are individual petitions where you say you have a medical condition, you should have been given extra time. We'll deal with it separately. It does not deal with the sanctity of the examination. That's individual students' petition.
Today's order should not be deemed to be as restricting only to the case of leak, because between the...
Not at all. In fact, that's why we have finally said this.
So for the reason, my lords, on the 8th, while the exam was announced for the 5th, my lords, of May, on the 8th of April, overnight, my lords, they brought about a notification that there will be a window open for students who could not register for the exam way back on 16th of March. Now this window that they opened, my lords, is absolutely difficult to understand.
So more students registered.
And
25,000 and
That began now.
students, my lords, how many?
Hello, I am appearing in item. Request for 1 second of indulgence. Hello,
Look,
there are
more students registering, etc. How can we
No, my lords, with utmost respect, because the initial advertisement
we'll hear you? We'll hear you on that. We'll hear you on that.
the entire result, the entire comprehensive result should be put on the website. Right now, what's happening is individual results only are put up. So somebody has to go. So we can't.
Mr. Kaushik, the entire result, except for those which you have, we will say that these results shall not give rise to any equities or legal rights. But you must at least now upload the result.
Yes, the entire results. Comprehensive.
The
Data science can work here.
1 second.
The revised result of 1563 and the rest of the persons, all has been uploaded on 30th. No.
Individually.
But do you have uploaded?
So that is why we can't use data science. That's the problem. If they are deliberately keeping
Under wraps.
Well, this would, your lordships may take a call on that on Thursday. But there is something,
We'll apply mine carefully on.
Please, Manoj.
kindly, my lord.
My lords, the NPA has also moved certain transfer activities. My lords, the NPA is
Maybe the
अच्छा वो उनका करना है ना? हाँ?
track record of the hours that we also looked at.
Oblige you.
थर्सडे को पूरा कंपाइल करके चीज़ें होंगी और जो लोग रिटेल
Just 1 second. Just 1 second. 35. Parmeshwar, the reason we kept your matter today was, now we knew that we can't take it up today, but what is the scope now? This All India judges.
I appear in item 35.
Your Lordship.
My IA alone has been.
Only his IA is there.
So what's happened, my lords, your lordships have put it up for compliance today. Your lordships orders for the past 2 years have not been complied with. At least 8 or 9 states have not released pension and allowance arrears, even though your lordships on multiple occasions extended the time limit for payment of those allowances. That's not been complied.
Should we just take up on Thursday the issue of compliance?
That's right. Thursday. So that's also far as compliance is concerned.
Compliance.
On the main issue matter, my lords, only one substantive issue
Pension.
It's pension, my lords, old pension scheme versus new pension scheme.
Okay.
That's the only substantive issue, and that because there are conflicts.
How long will we take on that?
All the submissions that are compiled and have been put in vote, I will take about 2-3 hours to explain the consequences of shifting from the old, and also to explain why.
We'll have to take it up on a Tuesday, I think.
We will have to argue.
Yes.
There's substantial argument from the state and
So
from the
we'll
state.
take it up on a Tuesday. So this, what we'll do is today we'll keep your matter on Thursday, only for compliance of the payment of allowances, etc. by the states. That the union has no role.
For 124 order. For compliance.
124 order. So we'll keep that on Thursday. We'll take up the issue of compliance.
There is an IA listed today, Millets. There is an IA listed today. There is a fresh IA listed today.
Three countries, Kerala, West Bengal, and Odisha, my lord. They have passed the circular, my lord, only to the my lord's order.
That's right.
That is what Parmeshwar is also arguing. No difficulty.
And Micah says,
May I say-
This is there.
May I say, Millets? Today there is an IA, Millets.
Sir,
That's
item
with regard to
38.
superannuation. Millets, the High Court has submitted an application before your lordships, and also the state government has given its willingness that it could be extended. It only requires your lordship's
What is this,
imprimatur.
Parmeshwar?
That could be taken up on Thursday.
It can be taken up on Thursday.
All right, just surprise us on Thursday.
Thursday.
At the fag end of the day
In
now.
minutes, Thursday.
We'll take it up on
Keep it.
Thursday.
Otherwise, they would be retired.
IA numbers just give. Chetan.
Yes, we'll give that.
First one never fixes. Thank
We'll
you.
take it up on
Yeah,
Thursday.
whenever it is got.
Yeah, my lords, your lordship. This refers to the National Commission, your lordship.
Yes.
Thank you so much for giving time. It refers to the National Commission on Allied Healthcare Professionals. It was already notified in 2021.
And we had issued notice in this on 22nd
Your
September.
lordship, it was issued, the notices were issued in September last year.
What has happened now?
But till now, about 19 states, parties have not even entered appearance, your lordship. And only 6 have only just filed their, 6 states have actually filed their, replies so far.
Can you give us a little tabulated chart? We can keep it on Thursday.
Can we do it on next Monday, your lordship?
Okay, we can do it. We can take it up on Monday.
Monday.
If you can just give us a tabulated note.
Yes.
So that which are the states which have implemented, which have not, and
Yes.
which are the states which have not filed reply.
Absolutely.
We'll give them one last opportunity, or they'll ask their chief secretaries to remain present or something like that. So they'll file their reply.
Your lordship, 3 years, it was actually done, just take you 30 seconds. This was actually done primarily after the COVID pandemic, after the first wave. And we did not have a national register to know how many allied healthcare workers were there in this country. And after 3 years of passing of this legislation in the parliament, even now it hasn't been actualized, Your Lordship.
All right. So we
extremely serious.
pass comprehensive directions on Monday next.
Thank you, Lordship.
After you give us a note, you can just sort of also identify what are the proposed directions which you are seeking at this stage, so that we pass those directions.
Deeply obliged. Thank you. Thank you.
Your Lordship, Senior Advocate Meenakshi ma'am is appearing online.
My lords, this is the Manipur matter. My lords, we're pleased to pass directions on 4th of December 2023 for the displaced students. Now, my lords, these are 59 students, and we are now into the next year, and we haven't been able to get admission. The learned solicitor was very kind. He said,
I beg to appear, my lords. We have found some solution to the some of the students' grievances that came to us after your lordship's last order of 17th of May 24. But my lords, for dental we are yet to find solution. If your lordships may call this next week, I'll file a status report on what solutions we have found for.
तो अभी अभी आपने देखा कि जो भी हियरिंग हुई है, जो भी सुनवाई हुई है, उसमें सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट बढ़ के बात यही आई है कि अब जो होगा वो हमारे थर्सडे को होगा। थर्सडे को नेक्स्ट सुनवाई होगी और थर्सडे को ही अब किया जाएगा कि क्या रीनीट पॉसिबल है या नहीं है। इन पूरे थर्सडे के मैटर को बहुत उन्होंने कहा कि हम लोग थोड़े से टैबुलर फॉर्म में करने की कोशिश करेंगे और जानने की कोशिश करेंगे कि कैसे इस चीज़ को हैंडल किया जा सके और क्या आगे पॉसिबिलिटी बन सके। अभी भी मामला बिल्कुल फंसा सा हुआ है और बहुत सारे बच्चे अभी भी स्टक हैं क्योंकि इस मतलब कि ये पूरा अच्छे से आया नहीं है। अभी बस एक बार सुनवाई हुई है और एक बार सुनवाई हो के चीज़ों को करा गया है कि भाई अब क्या आगे मामला हो सकता है। बट ऐसा समझ लीजिए कि थोड़ा अभी टाइम लगेगा और किसके फेवर पे जा रहा है, क्या हो रहा है, वो हम बात की बात करेंगे कि कैसे चीज़ों को अच्छा बना सकें, कैसे बेहतर बना सकें। तो बने रहिए इस चैनल में और जो भी अपडेट आएगा मैं आप सबको बताते रहूँगा। थैंक यू सो मच ऑल ऑफ़ यू। थैंक